When a massive new AI data center comes to town, you hear a lot about the jobs and the tax money. But what about the things you can't really put on a spreadsheet? The day-to-day experience of actually living next to one. So let's dive into the often hidden impacts these facilities can have on a community's quality of life.
Now, just so we're all on the same page, this is part 5 of a 10-part explainer. It's all based on a really comprehensive research report called Conducting an AI Data Center Community Impact Assessment, which comes from the Colorado research firm Virtualization Options LLC. We're going to be focusing specifically on what their research says it's like to have one of these huge facilities as your next-door neighbor.
All right, so here's the game plan. We'll start with the shiny pitch that communities get at the beginning. Then we're going to get into the stuff you can actually feel, the sound and the heat. After that, we'll dig into the tricky stuff like property values and social fairness. And finally, we'll look at what it means to have real, meaningful community engagement. So, how does this whole thing usually get started? Well, the story of a new data center almost always kicks off with a really appealing promise. It's sold as the perfect modern industrial project. I mean, think about it. They're basically pitched as these quiet, clean boxes just filled with computers. The promise is a huge boost to the local economy, a ton of taxable property, high-tech jobs, and all of this without the smokestacks or the heavy truck traffic you'd get from old-school industry. On paper, it sounds like an absolute win-win. But what happens once the thing is actually up and running? Well, first up is an impact you hear a lot more than you see. Try to imagine the sound of thousands of super powerful computers and their massive cooling systems all humming along 24/7. It's not some loud, sudden crash. It's a constant, low-frequency drone that can just get under your skin. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This is all about the gap between the official numbers and what people actually experience. The report points out that companies measure noise right at the edge of their own property. But of course, sound doesn't just stop at a fence line. And especially at night, something called a temperature inversion can happen. It's kind of like a lid gets put on the atmosphere, trapping that hum and carrying it way further into neighborhoods, making it even louder when everything else is quiet. So, what's the solution? Well, the key is for communities to really push for better oversight. That means we have to stop measuring just at the property line and start setting up continuous monitors where people actually live. It also means looking at how that sound changes with the seasons, and this is the big one, setting clear, enforceable noise limits with actual penalties if they're broken. Okay, so beyond sound, there's another invisible output from these places, heat. And we are talking about a staggering amount of it. All that electricity powering those AI servers, it eventually becomes waste heat that has to get pumped out into the surrounding environment. This creates what's known as the heat island effect. The sheer volume of hot air being pushed out can physically change the local microclimate. And we're not talking about just a little bit of warmth. The heat coming off a big AI data center can actually be equal to or even more than a small power plant. It's wild. And this number right here shows you the real-world impact. In some places, residents living right next to these facilities have reported temperature changes of 3 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit. That might not sound like a huge deal, but it's a measurable difference that can affect everything from just sitting on your porch in the evening to how much you're paying for air conditioning every month. So you've got this constant noise and this extra heat. And that, of course, leads to some much bigger questions, right? Questions about the whole character of a neighborhood, the value of people's homes, and this really fundamental issue of fairness. Who is actually bearing the burden of this new high-tech neighbor? Well, a bunch of things can start to affect property values. I mean, just put yourself in the shoes of someone looking to buy a house there. You'd be asking, how close is it to that massive building? How loud is it at night? Are there any health worries? And what about the uncertainty? What if they decide to expand it in a few years? All of that can give potential buyers pause. And this brings us to a really critical environmental justice issue, because these negative impacts aren't felt equally by everyone. The report found that lower-income residents often bear the brunt of it. They might be less able to afford the extra air conditioning to deal with the heat or soundproofing to block out the hum, and they definitely have fewer options to just pick up and move somewhere else. Okay, get ready for this, because here's a twist that is genuinely surprising. The report calls it a perverse outcome. A huge data center can dramatically increase a town's total property value on paper. But in many states, the formula for school funding is tied to that value. So if a town suddenly looks richer, it might get less state aid for its schools. Think about that.
the new development could accidentally lead to less money for students.
Okay, so with all these potential downsides on the table, how can a community make sure its voice is actually heard? Well, this is why the last part of the report is so important. It's all about moving past these token gestures and toward real, authentic engagement.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the typical old-school hearing. It happens late in the game. The developer presents all their data, and public concerns are politely noted. But on the right, you have authentic engagement. That starts early. It means proactively reaching out to everyone. It provides independent tech support for the community, and it gives residents' concerns real weight in the final decision.
So what does that look like in practice? Well, first, the whole process starts early, before the big decisions are already locked in. Second, it means making it easy for everyone to participate, not just the people with free time. Third, it means giving the community the funds to hire its own experts to double-check the project's claims. And finally, it means the decision makers have to actually listen and treat what the community says as a critical piece of the puzzle.
And that right there, that's the absolute game changer. This isn't about just saying no to everything. It's about empowering residents to be active partners, to help shape a project so it fits the community better, to demand stronger protections, and to make sure the benefits are shared more fairly. It's the difference between just reacting to a plan and actually helping to create a better one. And that really leaves us with this one fundamental question, doesn't it? The AI technology that's building our future is being created inside these massive facilities. But as we've seen, that progress isn't free. It comes with costs that are often paid not by the tech companies, but by the people living in the shadow of their data centers. It's definitely something we all need to be thinking about.